Hey guys, your boy Shaun Bellamy back with you. Another episode of Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun. This is episode 25, and yeah, you see it. So I officially got myself a webcam. I had this since last week, but I've been trying to do throughout the week while I'm at home. I've been trying to do these setups where it could be a Facebook Live, where I could stream it live. The episode, the podcast, so people could call in, people could chat with others and chat with me and ask questions. And whatever topic that I'm doing. And I was trying to do YouTube Live, which I've heard from various friends, family saying, yo, Shaun, YouTube Live is easier and you can still upload it to YouTube and all this other stuff going on. But for some reason, internet's not cooperating with me. And I haven't been able to get a stream that without any buffering, lag, and glitches going on. So I'm using my camera app on my computer. From where I'm looking at, it looks okay. You can see my handsome face. I'm joking. I'm not that conceited. But still, overall, this is what I'm going to do from now on until, guys at Cinescape Media and me and whoever, helps me along with this can find a way where we can stream it live on the YouTube channel. We're probably going to be using it on Cinescape Media's YouTube channel. And I'll live stream it from there. But when everything, works well and stops lagging and stuff like that, we'll have a good stream. I feel like, we could build off of this, and I love doing this. This is great. I like that I can see myself talk and everything and whatever, what's going on. But again, this is Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun, episode 25. I'm calling this edition the NBA Playoffs and National Hockey League Playoff, edition, kind of edition of the episode. There was not a lot of stuff I seen, as far as with the NFL, with baseball, WNBA. There's not really a lot going on. We have some couple reports I'm going to go on to on the quick sports notes of the week, and maybe a few things from the NFL. Again, they're all going to be part of the quick sports notes, quick sports news of the week. I keep saying notes. I don't know why I say notes, but yeah, there was really nothing else. I will be doing in a couple weeks because I believe the NFL season starts September 13th for every team. So I will give y'all my NFL. Team predictions as far as who's going to win the division, who's going to win the playoffs, how far teams will go in the playoffs, who win the Super Bowl. That will be coming up in a couple weeks. But besides that, it's the same thing, same old, which y'all have seen for 24 episodes now. I appreciate all the support from people who's been giving me. I've seen the analytics and stuff, people downloading my episodes, people checking it out on YouTube, checking it out on Cinescape Media, which you should be tuning into by now, because again, there's various guys on there besides myself that has great podcasts as well, and with various topics that they like to go over. So of course, me throwing in that plug, I might as well throw in this plug too. As always, before I get started, shout out to Cinescape Media. Make sure you guys subscribe to Cinescape Media. So like I said, this episode is based off the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. There won't be no big breakdowns. It's as far as where I see the series is going, how the series is going, where I see it's going, how it's going to go. It could kind of play off what I had my prediction as far as NBA last week and NHL. Like I said, they're right now. I believe every team is ready for the second round, but we'll get to that. And again, this should be a quick episode, like I said, because there's not a lot else going on. I'm tired of reporting about the coronavirus. We know it's here. We know it's killing everything, and really pissing us off. But there's really nothing else going on right now. I will keep trying to find some more news, obviously, as the days and weeks go by. Of course, before I get started, I'll probably say this again before at the end of my podcast of this episode. Happy birthday and rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. The Mamba did turn, I believe, 43 today. I hope I didn't get that wrong. But it's kind of sad that we got to sit here and say rest in peace. But happy birthday, Kobe. Of course, we miss you, and we'll see probably a lot of posts about Kobe, YouTube videos, ESPN highlights of him, and rightfully so, man. The dude was one of the greatest to ever do it, and we miss him dearly. So, all right, guys, let's get right here started on Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun, episode 25, the NBA Playoffs. This is the first round. This is only the first round so far. I told you guys to do this every week. I'm not going to just wait for the whole thing to be over to give you guys, the breakdown of what's going on. So this is the first round of the NBA playoffs so far. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference. The number 1 Milwaukee Bucks versus the number 8 Orlando Magic. Right now, that series has been 3 games, and Milwaukee is up 2-1. Now, my prediction for this series was the Milwaukee Bucks was going to sweep the Magic, actually, 4-0. I did not give the Magic any chance. I felt like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is the clear MVP, by the way, I thought they was him and, Chris Middleton, his second, their second option, Chris Middleton, that bench they have, the great coaching they have. I just thought, you know what? The Magic has no chance. They're Magic's a very young team, but just not a really good team. Obviously, if you pay attention to the record and how they've been playing throughout this entire season. So I had the Bucks beating them 4-0 in the sweep, and easily going to the next round. The Orlando Magic did not get that memo though. They probably heard me and other people saying that. I believe their dude Nikola Vucevic said that for the Magic, the power center for the Magic said that they were not going to lay down and die. They have done these last two games, but we'll get to that in a second. They beat the heavily favored Milwaukee Bucks in Game 1, 122-110. The Orlando Magic Game 1 win was two reasons why it happened. It shocked everyone, by the way. No one had that coming. It was like the whole first half. You know how teams usually get high? It could be an underdog team get hot, and everyone's really not like, okay, whatever. Sooner or later, the better team will show out. That did not happen. The Bucks got blown out from start to finish, and it wasn't even close. Giannis looked human. Chris Middleton just completely keeps proving why he does not deserve that max contract they gave him. He's a good player that's gotten better every year. I think he was an all-star this year, but as a champ on the championship team, which Milwaukee Bucks is trying to become, obviously they're contenders this year. It doesn't seem like to me Chris Middleton is a good second option. It just not. He's not playing well, and I think these first three games of the series, he's literally had like maybe 10 to 12 points. He's not really helping Giannis out as the backup when Giannis can't get going. But again, like I said, the Orlando Game 1 winning Game 1, there was two reasons for that. One, their center, like I said, Nikola Vucevic, he had 35 points and 14 rebounds. He completely dominated the game. He actually, in my opinion, outplayed Giannis. He was giving Giannis problems. He was shooting better than Giannis, and he was in and out in the paint, beyond the arc, everything, man. This dude was just making shots. And the second reason, for everyone that plays basketball with me, y'all know that I love this type of thing, and that is the energy. The Orlando Magic literally was doing the bare minimum, all the gritty things, showing so much energy on defense, on hustling. Like, they wanted it more. And I hate saying that sometimes, but it really did show. They wanted that win in Game 1 more than the Milwaukee Bucks. It seemed like throughout the whole Game 1, the Milwaukee Bucks were sleepwalking, and it really showed in that first game. So the Magic did win Game 1, 122-110. For the Bucks in Game 1, again, Giannis kind of did his thing, but he struggled. He struggled shooting as he usually do when it comes to when he's not getting in the paint. He had 31 points though in Game 1, 31 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 assists. But the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks team did not help. Again, their bench was terrible, was not playing well, and again, their second best player, their second option, Chris Middleton. I don't really recall how much points he had. It was not important. He just did not. He was the most disappointing one on that team, in my opinion. Again, as a second option, you have to do more to help your guy out. They lost by 10. They lost by 12. But the thing is, what's upsetting is because the game wasn't even that close. Like I said, it was worse. And majority of the Bucks scoring in the fourth quarter was garbage time. Like, no one really cared after that. But again, this is just 1-0 right now. Everyone's like, okay, holy crap. The Magic got everyone's attention, at least through that first game. But Game 2 was completely different. Game 2 was on Wednesday. Saw the Milwaukee Bucks respawn and look like the number one seed we expected them to look, and look like the dominant team we have seen all year in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks tied the series with at 1-1, one apiece, whatever how you want to say it, with 111-98 win against the Magic. Giannis dominated with 28 points and 20 rebounds. I believe in the first quarter, the Magic was kind of in there, but the Bucks, again, we're not going to do a whole super breakdown. Just watch the games. But the Magic, they kind of showed. I'm sorry, this wasn't game. Game 3, they kind of did a little better, but Game 2, the Magic was awful. They could not shoot. I think they started like 3 of 26. They could not get nothing going against the Bucks at all. The Bucks was completely running through them. And again, Giannis had 28 points and 20 rebounds. I believe he also had 5 assists. but their team played a lot better. Again, Chris Middleton did not play that great. Do not give that win to him. It was a team effort, but Chris Middleton to me still felt like he did not do enough. But again, it was complete domination. The Bucks defense showed that defensive pedigree that team has, and here we are. It's 1-1, and which moves us on to Game 3. Again, so I told you I'm breaking down not a big breakdown, but more so the NBA playoffs so far. The results so far, I'm going to give you every game from each series instead of just saying, oh, here's Game 1 days, here's what happened with Game 2 with some teams. And I'm going to give y'all the entire series and how far where those games are at. So right now it's 1-1 because of the Bucks dominating the Magic in Game 2. Game 3. Game 3 was yesterday, actually on Saturday. And now it's like, to me, this series looks over. I know it sounds weird saying that. Milwaukee Bucks, get this out the way. They blew out the Magic in 121 to 107. Giannis had 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. 7 assists. 7 assists. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk. But yeah, I know it sounds weird saying, yo, how you, Shaun, it's 2-1, and it's first team to 4. How are you going to say the series is over? I'm saying that because you could kind of just tell, man, like the Magic, it just seems like, because just last year, let's go real quick, just a real quick fun fact about this. Last year, the Magic was, I believe they was an 8th seed last year, and they faced the, or it was a 7th seed. Point is, they faced the number 1 or number 2 seed Toronto Raptors, right? And the very first game, the Magic actually won Game 1 and like upset the Raptors. This is when Kawhi Leonard was with Toronto, with Kyle Lowry and them boys. And, after that win, everyone's like, yo, okay, the Raptors looking a little overrated. Then out of nowhere, just like this, they won 4 straight games, and everybody was like, oh, okay. Like, okay. So now, it's like the Magic has this reputation, at least for this, it's only been 2 years. They have this thing where they win Game 1 over teams that everyone believes they're going to get swept by in the playoffs. But then I know where the other teams just start showing out, and the Magic just goes back to what we know they are, a young, bad team. So that's what happened, like I say, in Game 3. Giannis dominated. The Orlando Magic had this is 2 straight games with horrible performances on offense and defensive end. Vucevic, their best player, Fournier, the second best player for the Magic, really did not no one really showed up for the Magic. It was just not a good game overall. Again, the Bucks won 121 to 107 to go up 2-1. And I believe at this point, and for all the Laker fans out there, you're going to see exactly what I mean, because the Lakers kind of are in the same boat. But we'll get to the Lakers in a second when we get to the Western Conference. But yeah, Orlando's up 1-0. Back-to-back performances, terrible performances. Now they're down 2-1. And the number 1 seed is, they got me in this feeling like, okay, this thought, I don't know why I pointed to my head, that, okay, this series is over. Milwaukee woke up and, kind of like, let's get this over done as we move on to the second round, which we were supposed to do a second ago. And it kind of shows to me that Game 1 sometimes are flukes. Sometimes when a lower seed beats a high seed, this isn't March Madness where it's one and done. It's a 7-game series. So if you don't show up for those 7 games, 9 times out of 10, the lower seed is going to go down to the higher seed. Unless it's like a 4-5 matchup. Again, those are like toss-ups. But yeah, the Orlando Magic's win for Game 1 win looks like a fluke. And right now, Milwaukee's up 2-1. So that is it for that series. I believe everyone at this point has played 3 games. So I believe all my what I wrote down in my script is that Game 3 is where Game 4 is where everyone's at. And everyone's played up to 3 games so far. So right now it is 2-1. I believe by next week, because I believe Milwaukee and Orlando play tomorrow on Monday. So I believe by next week, when you see me again on Sunday Sports Rap with Shaun, episode 26, I'll be able to say, okay, Milwaukee moved on to the next round and Orlando went home. Next game in the Eastern Conference playoffs first round, the number 2 Toronto Raptors versus number 2 seeded Toronto Raptors versus the number 7 seed Brooklyn Nets. This series is 3-0. Toronto's up 3-0. I'm gonna give y'all the little breakdown of all 3 games, but yeah, the Raptors is taking care of business. They're doing what the Milwaukee Bucks should have done to the Magic. The Brooklyn Nets, man, I feel bad for them because, again, the guys they got in their team, it's not like they have terrible players. I like Cecil LeVert, their shooting guard. He's a bucket, a walking bucket, bona fide bucket. And you have Joe Harris who can shoot threes. They have, I like Jared Allen for them. Their center is like a blocking machine. The guy with the big fro, but and again they're a team with heart. But next year we're all going to be paying attention to next year. If you're an NBA fan, you know what I'm talking about. Next year, the Brooklyn Nets, they have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant coming back, so that's what I'm looking towards next year. I don't think anyone expected the Nets to go far. Obviously, there's so many players that got hurt there in their NBA restart while they've been in the bubble, and also there's been players just opting out, not playing. So the Nets kind of came in with a bunch of players that, you know, it's like, okay, you got in because you're in the Eastern Conference and no one's really going to take you seriously. But so Toronto's doing what they're doing. They're giving them merciful death and just basically getting them out of here. So again, like I said, Toronto's up 3-0 in this series. In Game 1, the Raptors handled their business in Game 1 against the depleted Brooklyn Nets. The Toronto Raptors dominated the first game 134-110. Game 1 was boring. Again, I would be honest with y'all. I wasn't like that. There was like I was watching the game at and shout out to my boy Andy. Shout out to my boy Andy. Shout out to my boy Donovan. I was watching the game at their house, and the very first thing we got done watching, I think the Utah Jazz and Denver Nuggets Classic, which I'm going to bring up in like I said when we get to Western Conference. But after Game 1, after that game, the next game was the Brooklyn Nets and Raptors Game 1, right? So they were already telling me, Shaun, why are we watching this? Let's just play Smash Bros. Or let's play, Super Smash Brothers, or let's get on the game. Let's do something else. I don't care if we watch movies. They basically saying, because they already seen that this was going to be a basically a boring game. And me being, me just being me, I was excited that the NBA playoffs is here. This is the very first day NBA playoffs. I was like, yo, hell no, man, we are going to watch this game. And they were right. Game 1 was boring as hell. Like I said, the Raptors did win 134-110. The lead was up to 34 points. It was that ugly. It was terrible. I think actually at some point it was higher than 34. I don't think it was up to 42. Because Andy was telling me, like he was saying, yo, we're turning this game off at halftime if they go up. Like I think he had the score being 60-40 or something like that. I forgot what he said. But the point is, it was ugly. It was disgusting. It was boring as hell. And I hate blowouts. I don't mind the blowouts when it's in the second half, but when you're in the first half of the game and it just takes you out of it when the team's down 20 to 30, 40 points, it was ugly. Now, I didn't write this, but to be fair to the Nets, they actually cut the lead to 11, I believe. It was 99-98. No, 99. I'm sorry. Wow. Stupid. 99-88 in the fourth quarter. And it looked like at first the Nets was fighting back, but again, the Raptors being a better team, they just ran away with it. And again, I still think that's kind of like fluky, because it's like, yeah, okay, y'all made a run. Like every team makes runs, but I think the Raptors was just sleepwalking at that point. When you're up that much, you're not really thinking, okay, this team's going to come back. But in the end, okay, I can keep fixing my seat. In the end, the Raptors did do what they're supposed to do, and they went up 1-0. Game 2, the Brooklyn Nets actually played way better in this game, and they had us believing that, okay, maybe they could tie this series at 1-1 and put a little bit of attention to this series. But again, I still thought the Raptors 1-5 that happened. But then the fourth quarter happened. Then the Nets kind of, again, the kind of inexperienced, just not a good team overall without Kyrie and KD and them dudes there that they miss. Yeah, but the fourth quarter happened. The Raptors outscored the Nets 30-19 in the fourth quarter, which included a terrible ending to the game. I hate when games end like this. Okay, so it was, again, the Raptors outscored the Nets 30-19, right? It was, and I believe they took the lead. It was 102-99 with 15 seconds left. I want to say 15, maybe it was like 7 seconds. Point is, it was under 30 seconds, right? So the Nets had the ball, and I was like, okay, worst case here is they lose the game, but at least we get a chance to see if the Nets can knock down the 3-4 overtime or something crazy happens. No. They they called timeouts, and they had the ball at half court. They passed the ball in, and I believe I want to say the small forward for the Nets, Garrett Temple, he had the ball, and I guess he was trying to hand it off to either Joe Harris or someone coming around the corner on his team. But they turned it over. The freaking, I think it was Powell or somebody from the Raptors knocked it loose, but it wasn't even like he did some pickpocket type thing. It was just a very bad drawn-up play by the Nets that cost them a turnover, and then the Raptors, they dunked it at the end of the game to go up 104-99 to end it. That was it, and that was it for the that was it. Yeah, the game was over 104-99. Raptors won, and go up 2-0. But again, what frustrates me is like I have no dog in this fight. I'm not a fan of either team, but again, you hate to see that as a fan, man. In any sport, it could be an NBA, NFL. You hate when it's like down to the last second or whatever, and you're just hoping that the team that's losing gets a chance to at least win the game or tie it. And then they draw up some play that just drives you crazy. Like it just like why would you? It just seemed like they was all over the place. Just go back and watch this game. You know what I'm talking about. In the end, the Nets basically choked it away again because they was winning the entire time leading up to the fourth. And then the Raptors just said, "Oh wait, screw this." And remember, we're the better team in this situation. And then they came back and won the game. So if you're keeping track of everything I'm rambling on about, it is 2-0 right now. Raptors, it's 2-0. Game 3 was Friday, this past Friday. And yeah, again, like I said, this series is basically over. The Toronto Raptors pounded the Brooklyn Nets 117-92 to take a 3-0 series lead. I did not watch a second of this game. I can't even tell you what the hell happened. Only thing I saw was on my phone as I was going through Bleach Report, ESPN.com, that they was up by like 20 points. The game was boring as hell. It's not exciting, but again, this is what you kind of expect NBA playoffs in the first round. COVID or pre-COVID or coronavirus, days, whatever. Usually in the first round NBA playoffs, there's probably maybe one or two series from either side on the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference that has like a compelling matchup, and you kind of see games go to 6 or 7. But most of the times, the first round, you weed out the pretenders. You weed out the teams that are not supposed to be here, and they get, basically dismantled pretty quickly. And that's what's going on right now between the Nets and the Raptors. I'm really not being nice to the Nets right now. I don't know why. Again, I feel bad for the Nets. But again, you're in the Toronto Raptors' way, and they're handling their business. So like I said, Game 3 was Friday, and the Raptors won 117-92 to take a 3-0 series lead. Yeah, the only ones excited about this is Raptors fans. Game 4 is today. I want to make this clear. So right now, I made it clear to y'all. It is 3-0 Raptors, and they have a chance for the whole sweep. They have a chance to sweep and finish this series today. Game 4 today is at 6:30 p.m. So by next week, obviously, I want to say this. Like I said with the Milwaukee Bucks, by next week, I believe the Raptors will be in the next round. The Raptors actually will have a decent amount of time to chill and, get their, and relax, because there's a lot of other series for the West and East that's still going on that the Raptors like, okay, we're about to handle our business, and we'll just wait for the rest of y'all to get done with y'all series. Next one, 76ers fans, close your eyes. The number 3 Boston Celtics versus the number 6 seed. The number 3 seed Boston Celtics versus number 6 seed Philadelphia 76ers. This series is right now Boston Celtics 3-0. My prediction for this, going back to Sunday Sports Wrap Shaun episode 24, I actually gave the 76ers one game. But I've told you guys since the NBA restart came, when I told y'all when this whole thing was going down, that they decided, here's the bubble teams. Out of the 22 bubble teams, here we go. You guys got 8 games to help prove your chance at moving up in the standings, getting the playoffs, all that good stuff. I've told y'all, before the playoffs started, even before we found out who the 76ers was going to play, I told y'all the 76ers are one of the most overrated teams in the league. Coming into this year, we've heard all about how the process is over and how they busted their asses. Here they come. They're going to be title contenders this year. The Sixers are overrated. I don't care. People are going to talk about, Shaun, they're missing Ben Simmons. And sure, Ben Simmons would have probably helped him get a game in there. But he's an offensive liability to me. I do not believe this would have been a different series. The Celtics are the Celtics is the better team. And they just have, and the coaching is better. And they're the better team, basically overall. So I don't care. Maybe the scores would be different. But as far as like the deficit of the wins the Celtics have, but I'm still would have Boston up 3-0. So we're going to break down right now how did we get to this point and how was it 3-0. In game 1, the Boston Celtics, again, like I said, was my win in the series 4-1. But where I'm at. Okay. In game 1, I still feel confident this series was going to go to 5. I did. I felt confident after 1. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it can actually still go to 5 because the Sixers came out playing well, and then it just kind of took the fourth quarter for the Celtics to get away. So okay, you know what? This could be a probably decent series, but again, Celtics in 5, right? But game 1 went to the Celtics 109-101. Philadelphia 76ers star center Star center Joel Embiid had a good game, scoring 26 points and 16 rebounds. The Celtics got 32 points from Jason Tatum and 29 points for Jaylen Brown. After game one, Joel Embiid kind of felt that he should have done more. You would think, wait, man, 26 points and 16 rebounds. How did you not do enough? But he felt like he should have got up more shots, and I agreed after you kind of watched the game in game one that it felt like the first half they was giving him the ball like constantly. They was giving it to him constantly, feeding him, and he was dominating the paint during that first half. But in the second half, kind of looks like got away from Embiid. You know what I mean? They stopped running their offense through him, which I don't know why. They don't have anyone else on that 76ers team. But I'm going to give you my breakdown of the Sixers after I get through this these other two games of the series. So right now, like I said, it's Boston 1-0. Game 2, this series needs to just end. That's what I wrote. And game 2, the Boston Celtics blew out the 76ers 128-101. This game wasn't fun to watch unless you're a fan of Boston or you just like seeing the Sixers lose. There's a lot of people out there that just hate Philly sports teams in general, so they probably was happy that the Sixers lost. The game again, this was completely different from game one. I already tuned off. I know it's kind of mature or whatever. You're probably jinxing if you're feeling like, man, like Shaun, what do you mean the series is over? It's only 2-0. But if you watch the same game I watched, in game one it looked like it could be a series, but in game two the Celtics just reminded us that why the 76ers should not be here in the first place. It was completely boring and one-sided. My prediction was the Sixers lose the series in 5, but at this point, my little brother Justin, who's in my ear about this, he had the 76ers getting swept. He had the Sixers getting swept 4-0. And at this point, I jumped on that bandwagon. I was like, yo, it's 2-0. All right, man. I mean, it's not over. It's never over when you just say 2-0. But when you tell how another team is playing with the eye test when you're watching the games, like, all right, man, there's not a lot of fight here. And Embiid still like he don't give a shit sometimes. I was like, all right, man, and Brett Brown is still their coach, like, for the Sixers. So I'm like, all right, man, at this point, this thing is over. So game 3, again, Celtics up 2-0. Game 3 for this series was on Friday, and basically another series that is basically over. Just like I said, Toronto Raptors and the Nets thing. It's 3-0. Okay, well, actually, I said with the Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors. Now I'm saying for the Celtics. This series is going to be over. The Boston Celtics won Game 3, 102-94, and is now up 3-0 in the series. I told y'all the 76ers is one of the most overrated teams this season. Yes, they missed Ben Simmons, but I'm gonna get to.
Celtics play the second.
Oh man, that was my freaking. Hold on a second. That was my Siri. It heard me say Boston Celtics, so it was like, oh, they play this day. So ignore that. Yeah, but so let's get to this. Game 4 is today at 1 o'clock, and I expect the Celtics to sweep the Sixers. I think it's over. But let's get into this real quick, because I know this is kind of going away from me going over the playoffs, but we'll get to it, trust me. The 76ers, the reason why they're overrated and just in the way to me, progress with a team, you're supposed to, every year, you're supposed to see. As a Chicago Bulls fan, I can tell y'all I'm so upset because progress has been like this. You thought we're coming up, but no, we're going down. With the Sixers, I'm trying to really explain it. Let's start what they did this offseason, right? There was Jimmy Butler, who, if you don't, I'm not going to explain who this guy is. I love Jimmy Butler. He's a dog and everything like that. He played for the Sixers last year. He was clearly the 76ers closer last year. He was the dude that you could give the ball to and he would grit, get you that win. Just dirty, like down. He's a beast. I love Jimmy Butler. He's not like a superstar, but he's a guy on your team you can count on to not be afraid of the moment. Now, the other guys on their team, Joel Embiid, again, star center. The problem I have with Joel Embiid is at times like he does not give a shit. His body language sucks. He's very fragile. You talk about injury prone. He is injury prone. Like every little thing he's off the court for. But again, he is a beast. When he's on the floor and he is 100% focused and he wants to win, and that's ridiculous I got to say that, he is unstoppable. I'm not joking. He has a decent shot from outside. He can shoot the three well. I don't prefer my centers always do that. I want them to be in the paint. They can dominate, a.k.a. Anthony Davis. But my point is, he is a beast when he is focused. I will never take that away from Joel Embiid. But he's fragile as shit, and sure as hell, it's like he just does not. If his team's down like four or 5 points, he's not interested. It baffles me, and I can't stand his body language sometimes. But again, he's a good player to have on your team as far as like, I'm not saying the 76ers need to get rid of him. But during the offseason, like I said, they let go of Jimmy Butler, and because I believe Jimmy Butler wanted to leave. I guess he wanted to go to Miami. He didn't end up going to Miami, but Jimmy Butler left. Then they had the choice of paying money to this, I want to say they're power forward, but I'm going to say small forward, Tobias Harris. Now, Tobias Harris is a decent player. For people that don't know, I think he was a Orlando Magic player. Kind of got better as years went on. Then when he came to the 76ers, everyone thought he was like a missing piece, but he was a very solid addition to the 76ers team trying to build a championship. Well, the way that they treated him is in the offseason, they gave him a max contract. I don't remember the number specifically, but it was like over $100 million max deal. They gave Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a solid guy on your team, but he is not worth a max contract. He reminds me of Chris Middleton. And I'm saying Chris Middleton is actually better than him, but still, Tobias Harris is just not that good of a player. He's a guy that can give you maybe 17, 18 points a game, but he is, and that's fine, but that is not a max contract dude. This entire series, he has been garbage for the 76ers. Ask their fans on Twitter, ask their fans on Facebook, anywhere. He has been trash. He has not helped in Joel Embiid at all. And that's the one thing I will give Joel Embiid is he actually played well in all 3 games. He's been their main focal point. Tobias Harris as a second option is trash. And by the way, for people that say, it's Ben Simmons missing Ben Simmons, it's complete horseshit. Because Ben Simmons, like I said to y'all, is an offensive liability that does not give you that much as far as scoring when they absolutely need one. If Joel Embiid is off, that entire team is off. There's no buckets you're really getting from a lot of people, at least from your star player. And Ben Simmons is one of their star dudes. So him being out injury to me is not a good excuse why you're playing like shit against a Boston Celtics team. The other offseason move they made was bringing in Al Horford. Now, Al Horford, funny enough, was actually a former Boston Celtic center. Al Horford's a very solid dude that really just does all the gritty things, but he also can score. He can shoot the 3 very well, the 3-point, and he has decent post moves that he can definitely get you some buckets and get to the free throw line. I like Al Horford. Not this Al Horford. This Al Horford, since he signed with 76ers this year, they gave him a big contract deal, and he has played like shit. He's played like he's not supposed to be on the court. He looks lost sometimes, and 76ers fans have been going crazy, hoping that they get rid of him somehow and dump his contract to someone else, but I don't think anyone's going to take his contract because of his age, and again, the money that they basically gave him. So that's 2 moves the 76ers organization made coming into this season. And you look at all that and see why this team's offense and their team overall is very pedestrian and not good, not fun to watch. They look trash. And they're playing trash. They're down 3-0 right now to the Boston Celtics. Do not give me that crap about Ben Simmons. Yeah, Ben Simmons could have probably helped on defensively against Jason Tatum, who is literally looking like a megastar right now. But overall, they're down 3-0, and it's their own fault for that. Now, the one good thing a lot of 76ers fans will tell you is that because of this, they will get swept. I believe they will get swept after this game. After this game today, game 4, I believe they said at 1 o'clock. And they believe after this, Brett Brown will be fired. Their head coach, who's been a head coach for a decent amount of time now, has really pissed off fans over the years. How is his rotations, his defense assignments for players and everything, and his times he'll play one dude more than the other, even though the one player he took out is playing way better than the dude he's bringing in. 76ers fans have had enough with him. So Brett Brown should be fired, and that's the one good news I have for the Sixers fans after this series is over. But y'all are getting swept, and you're very overrated. I do not like the Sixers team. I don't. And that's where we're at right now. It just seems like to me the 1, 2, 3 seeds should be moving on to the second round. The Milwaukee Bucks the 1 seed, Toronto Raptors the 2 seed, and the 76ers the 3rd seed. No, I'm sorry, the Boston Celtics the 3rd seed. They should be moving on to the next round after this week. And the final game, the final Eastern Conference playoff series in the first round, the number 4 seed Indiana Pacers versus number 5 seed Miami Heat. Again, that's the number 4 seed Indiana Pacers versus the number 5 seed Miami Heat. This series is 3-0. Okay. So let me rephrase that. There's all basically, Eastern Conference first round should be done by the end of this week. Well, next week, basically. So yeah, Miami Heat's up 3-0. I had this series being Miami 4-1, so it's really not that far off. The Indiana Pacers could still win one game and, make it 3-1. But overall, this series is over. I just thought Miami had the better team. Against Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler's on that team. I said Jimmy Buckets on purpose. Don't say I messed up. He gets buckets. And they got Goran Dragic, who's coming off the bench, dominating. Like their whole team, I just like the whole setup of the Miami Heat team, dude. They got great coach Eric Spoelstra. They have a closer, Jimmy Butler. They can shoot and they can lock you the hell up, as the Indiana Pacers have saw throughout these games, especially in the fourth quarter. And they're just, they're just there. They're that very deep team that I like a lot. I like Miami Heat. Again, they're like the second team I have coming out the East. Well, they'll be my third team, whatever. But let's just break down this series. We'll move on to the Western Conference. But here we go. For game one between Indiana and Miami, Miami took a good tight game. It was a good game, 113-101. This game one was very close throughout the first three quarters, but the Miami Heat, with the help of their star shooting guard, Jimmy Butler, closed out the game in the fourth quarter to put away the Indiana Pacers. So again, 1-0 Miami going into game two. Game two in this series was on Thursday, and the Miami Heat won a close one, 109-100. The score doesn't show it, but it was a close game. Again, I mean, you won by 9. A lot of people say Shaun 9 is a close number, but still, whatever. It was a close game, but again, the Miami Heat ran away with it in the fourth quarter. They made key steals. They forced key turnovers, and the Indiana Pacers kind of just again. They're kind of like they're very small in the fourth quarter compared to Miami. With that win, the Miami Heat took a 2-0 series lead. And then game three was yesterday. And again, it's like another series in the Eastern Conference that is basically over. The Miami Heat won game three on Saturday to take a 3-0 series lead, 124-115. The Eastern, so you see the kind of like a theme I said with the Miami Heat. In the fourth quarter, like I said, the games were tight. First, second, and third. They were some very tight games. Where you thought maybe Indiana could steal maybe one or two of those games, but in the end, Miami just kicked it up another notch and won the series, and won the fourth quarter, won the game. So which puts them up 3-0. So yeah, that's the Eastern Conference first round. This actually took longer than I thought because maybe I just don't know when to shut the hell up, move on to the next thing. I like ranting. But yeah, it seems like the Eastern Conference, as far as their first round playoffs right now, they're done. To me, by next week, by Monday or Tuesday, these series could be already wrapped up. Like I said, the only team that really has anything to worry about is Milwaukee, but not really. You know what I mean? When I mean worry about, they actually gave a game away to the Magic. Everyone else I just named is up 3-0. No one else has a win in their series. Toronto's going to sweep the Nets. Miami's going to sweep the Indiana Pacers, and the Boston's going to sweep the 76ers. So we're only waiting for Milwaukee, right? I feel like at this point, unless something crazy happens where these teams make a comeback, which I don't see happening. So we will have our second round for the Eastern Conference, I believe, by maybe in a couple of days. So we're going to move on here to the Western Conference first round, and once I get done with the Western Conference first round results so far, I'll move on to the NHL Playoffs. Then I'll finish things with the quick sports notes, and I'll wrap things up, you guys, from here. Western Conference first round, the number 1 seed Los Angeles Lakers versus the number 8 seed Portland Trail Blazers. This series right now is LA 2-1. In game one, it happened. I remember I was sitting at my shout out to my boy Andy and Donovan. I was sitting at their crib, and this was I think we were still watching like the game one games going on, and we was really like laughing because Andy, who's a huge Lakers fan, biased as hell. He literally was saying, we're not going to lose game one. Why are y'all talking stupid? Y'all just chatting. Blah, blah, blah. Cap. We're not losing game one to the Blazers. We're going to sweep the Blazers or whatever. He's just basically saying they're not going to lose game one. Then game one happened. It happened. The number 8 seed, Portland Trail Blazers, got the Los Angeles Lakers' attention in game one. Got their attention because in game one of the series, the Blazers beat the Lakers 100-93. So it was kind of hilarious. I didn't pick on Andy. I didn't like call him or anything like that and laugh in his face. I just kept checking Twitter because he is very active on Twitter. And every time you see like a Lakers post on your feed, even though you don't follow the Lakers on your through your timeline, you'll see majority of the time it's Lakers, especially about what's going on during the game. Andy's liking and retweeting everything. Again, he's a fan. Makes sense. But I didn't see no shit after that. I didn't see any of that after game one. He was very silent. I think he told me there's other reasons why, but still, sports reasons, it was hilarious to me. I didn't see a single damn thing he tweeted about the game. They lost the game in game one, 100-93. Blazers was up 1-0. LeBron James did LeBron things in game one, making history with a stat line of 23 points, 17 rebounds, and 16 assists. LeBron had 23 points, 17 rebounds, and 16 assists. Probably would have had 20 to 25 assists if his team was knocking down shots. Their bench was not helping them, and their shooters was awful. Looking at you, KCP, and I'm looking at you, it was a Danny Green. But despite all that, LeBron did struggle shooting the ball. He didn't really shoot the ball very well. And the stat line, 23 points, 17 rebounds, 16 assists was crazy, but it didn't really feel that impactful. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like it was really like LeBron put his, he usually puts his foot on someone's throat kind of thing. Like, it wasn't that type of performance. Anthony Davis, their other superstar player on their team besides LeBron, he didn't help at all, shooting 8 of 24 from the floor. He shot 8 of 24 from the floor, shot horrible. And there's times where Anthony Davis still pretends he's KD. Instead of going into the paint, where we know if Anthony Davis just sets his mind of going to the paint, that dude's going to get up like 15 to 16 free throws, and he's going to score like 30 to 40 points because he's unstoppable in the paint. No one is stopping Anthony Davis in the paint. So when I mean by saying he pretends he's KD, for people that don't get that reference, I'm saying Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's like a 7-foot forward that can go around and shoot anywhere on the court. He can shoot inside, outside, around. It could be there. It don't matter where he's on the court. He's a sniper from there. KD is like a beast shooting the ball. And it feels like to me sometimes Anthony Davis, you've seen it through this series with the Blazers, he tends to kind of get out of the paint. And some people will blame that on LeBron and say that's more LeBron's system because LeBron needs everyone out the paint to do what he does when he drives and kicks. But still, man, I don't know why they don't just do plays. Get Anthony Davis the ball in the paint. Bro, he's unstoppable. And I'm going to, again, he's shown that in the last these last two games of this series. But star point guard Damien Lillard for the Portland Trail Blazers kept up his sweet shooting, putting up 34 points for the Blazers. And again, the Blazers won a very tough game one, 100-93. So everyone's like, yo, oh, snap, okay. But again, game ones are game ones. You got to stop taking them so seriously. Because in game two, that's exactly because in game two, like my eye twitched a little bit. Because in game two, the Lakers basically just got everybody to calm the hell down. Game two was on Thursday, and the Lakers responded big time, blowing out the Blazers 111 to 88. Did y'all hear what I just said too? 111. What is up with teams scoring 111 this week? I feel like I wrote that down. Like, I'm not saying like it's funny, but it's like, why is that the number right now? I feel like I said that 3-4 times. Someone won the game with 111 points. But yeah, the Lakers tied the series at 1-1. LeBron played better. He still didn't have the best shooting night, but it was all Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, I believe, had like 30. He was like 30-something points and, had 30-something points or like 13, 14 rebounds. He completely dominated. Dame did struggle shooting this game. I believe the whole Blazers team, if you look at the score, like I said, it's 111 to 88 Lakers when they won the game. The whole Blazers team really struggled shooting. And, it was 1-1. Game three, so on Saturday. Game three was Saturday. Showed exactly why all the Dame time and the Damien Lillard doing great things in these last 5-6 games. In the bubble and everything, really didn't move me as much. Damien Lillard is a hell of a player and great. The way he's shooting is like, holy shit. But still, they're still an 8th seed. This whole hype about what he was doing, it's exactly what shows you why you should not pay attention to game ones that much. It's not that big of a deal when a team wins game one. It does not. Because they are who we thought they were. The Blazers are who we thought they were. They're an 8th seed that's just lucky to be there. And the Lakers are just showing them that. On game three, just yesterday, game three on Saturday, the Lakers won this game 116-108. Lakers are now up 2-1, and I expect this series to be over by my next show next week. I believe the Lakers will win this in 5. I actually had the Lakers win. That was my prediction. I had the Lakers winning this series in 5. So there you go. Lakers up 2-1. I'm pretty sure Lakers fans is laughing at everybody that thought, oh, man, after game one, they was going to lose. But whatever. Lakers up 2-1 in that series. Number 2, moving on to the Western Conference Playoffs first round. The number 2 seed Los Angeles Clippers versus the number 7 seed Dallas Mavericks. 3 games have been played this series so far, and the Clippers are up 2-1. So, I'm going to get right into it. This series is very interesting. Very interesting. But let's get right into it, why I think it's interesting. In game 1, this series so far, I didn't have this series going longer than 5 games. I thought, the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic and, Kristaps Porzingis, and they have the Dallas Mavericks have they're the best offensive team actually in the league, stat wise. They're the best offensive team, and they have a very solid team. But again, I thought the defensive pedigree and all that. Like I was saying, the defense with the Clippers, Doc Rivers being head coach, their depth. I was like, okay. At worst, this series goes to 5. Best case, this series. Best case for the Clippers, it goes to they sweep them, or worst case, they have to beat them in 5. It's still possible because right now, like I said, they're up 2-1. But I still thought the star power of the Clippers and the defensive pedigree was just too much. I just thought that it's over in 5 games. But after game 1, hell, you can argue after game 2 maybe as well. But after game 1, it was like, okay, who knows? It's one game. Everyone's like, okay, Shaun, it's game 1. I told y'all. Don't get that hype over it. It was just what was going on in game 1 is what made it interesting to me. Now, the Clippers won game 1, 118-110, right? They won up 1-0. Okay, cool. The Clippers, they won. But during the game, though, it was crazy. So here's what happened. The Clippers in game 1 was down majority of the game, but came back and won. But what was talked about the game 1 the most was the referees. It wasn't about how the Clippers dominated, but how they made a comeback. The main talk in game 1 was the damn referees. And here's why. There was a moment in the game where there was a foul called on Clippers forward Marcus Morris, right? He got the foul called on him. But, playoffs intensity risen up. Being right at this point, the Clippers are tiny little, a little frustrated here. Because, like, holy crap, we expect to just walk in and beat the shit out of the Dallas Mavericks, and here we are in a dogfight. But yeah, Clippers forward Marcus Morris got in the face of Dallas Mavericks star Luka Doncic, and his teammate Luka Doncic got in the face of Marcus Morris, right? But Luka Doncic's teammate, Dallas Mavericks power forward Kristaps Porzingis, stepped up and actually backed up. It was a nice thing to see Kristaps do for his teammate. But then I believe Kristaps did a thing where he kind of shoved, but it wasn't like a hard shove against Marcus Morris. It was a very weak shove. It was so soft what happened. But so he pushed him. He pushed Morris, and Morris didn't really move. He's a big dude. He didn't really move as much. And the refs, though, called a technical foul on Kristaps Porzingis and Morris, right? They both got technical fouls. Very common in NBA today. The problem was, though, that was the second technical foul for Kristaps Porzingis. And in the rule book of the NBA, if you get 2 technical fouls in a game, no matter if it's regular season or playoffs, hell, it could be preseason, you're going to get ejected. He got ejected. And Kristaps Porzingis at the time was actually balling in the second half doing his thing. So, of course, social media went crazy. Do hashtag Dallas versus the LA versus LA Clippers, hashtag, NBA playoffs. Everyone was talking about that constantly. That was the only thing you heard throughout the rest of the game. It didn't even matter when the Clippers came back and won. It didn't even matter when the Mavericks kept it close and lost in game 1 in the end. That's all everyone was talking about, was that the fact they believed that game 1 was rigged. That was the word. That everyone thought it was rigged because it's like, oh my goodness, look at this. Look, the LA team is losing. Well, we got to make sure that we keep this on the status quo that is going to be the Clippers and Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Well, we got to do something. Hell, we got to kick out one of their players so the Mavericks do not win this game. It was crazy. And that, to me, is what ruined game 1. It kind of was a way ruined the series if the Dallas Mavericks didn't win game 2, which I'll get to in a second. But it really, really sucks that the Mavericks was playing well and balling. And then I think it was after that ejection is when the Clippers made that comeback. So it was like, come on, man. Like, that's crazy. So let's get to game 2, and I can tell you why this is just insane. So getting it right out of the way with game 2. Game 2 was on Wednesday, right? And the Clippers are up 1-0. Dallas Mavericks, again, at this point, they had our attention, especially if you're the Clippers fans. The Dallas Mavericks tied the series 1-1 with a 127-114 win. Paul George for the Clippers shot poorly in this game, and the bench of the Mavericks showed up to make the series interesting. So think about that. It's 1-1 now. After game 2 on Wednesday, we're like, oh, okay, this was not a fluke. The Mavericks really wasn't that game 1. And if they do not eject Kristaps Porzingis from the Mavericks and take away their second option, Luka Doncic is their best player, Kristaps is their second best player. If they don't do that, you can really make an argument that the Mavericks was going to go up 2-0, or would have been up 2-0 in this series. It is crazy to me that that's how this is how it went. Now in game 3, everything kind of like it will go back to normal. The Clippers winning the game, they dominated 130-122. The score was not even that close. It was like garbage time points for the Mavericks in game 3 in the fourth quarter. The Clippers offense was in full force in game 3 and took full control of the game after they scored 45 points in the second quarter. 45 points. Jesus Christ. It basically wasn't missing. Kawhi Leonard balled out and scored 36 points, 8 assists, and 9 rebounds. With that win, the series is now 2-1 LA Clippers. Game 4 is today at 3:30. And again, this series, y'all, Game 4 is today at 3:30 p.m. And this series is very interesting because it definitely seems like the Dallas Mavericks, even though they're down 2-1, this series, the Mavericks has the Clippers number. And again, you can argue the Clippers would have been down 2-1. They won Game 3 convincingly. But games 1 and Game 2, they had to make little comebacks here and there because the Mavericks was literally in their grill, man. They was there. You can argue that this series should be 2-1 Dallas. But here we are. It's 2-1. This is completely different. My take on it is completely different for the Eastern Conference. I believe this series will go 6. So it still could be over by the end of the week. But I believe this series could definitely go 6. I think the Mavericks are not just done yet, at least getting one more win in this series. It might actually win today to make it 2-2. Moving on, you guys. So to the Western Conference first round, number 3 seed Denver Nuggets versus number 6 seed Utah Jazz. Utah in this series is up 2-1. They played 3 games so far. Game 1 was fantastic. The Nuggets won this game in overtime, 135-125. It went in overtime. Again, it was a hell of a game. I did say they won the game in overtime. Repeating myself. It was 135-125 though. It was a hell of a game. For the Nuggets, they got great clutch performances from their star players, point guard Jamal Murray, who scored 36 points, 9 assists, and their center, Nikola Jokic, who scored 29 points and 10 rebounds. Again, Jamal Murray was the one that was kind of making the bigger buckets, but he was making the clutch buckets down the stretch and kind of helped force overtime. For the Utah Jazz, it was all Donovan Mitchell. No one else helped out. Not when I say no one else helped out, but no one really even came close. It was Donovan Mitchell and everyone else on that floor. The Jazz shooting guard scored 57 points. 57 in game 1. He scored 57 points, but it still was not enough. And they lost by 10. Now, it doesn't look good if you're a Jazz fan. Like, damn, bro, our star player had 57 points, and we still lost by 10 points in overtime. But right now, it's Nuggets 1-0, right? Game 2. The series I have going, this was, again, my prediction coming in for this series that I had it going 7 games. I thought Denver would win this series 4-3. Still possible. But yeah, right now it's looking right. I wrote down my script like, okay, because of how games 1 and game 2 is going, I was like, okay, I can see this series definitely going 7. I think this is probably the most interesting match, well, not one of the most, but somewhat of like, top matchups in the first round because again, these teams are so similar, like I said a couple weeks ago. But this time in game 2, the Utah Jazz beat the Denver Nuggets 124-105. This was a coast-to-coast win, basically dominant win for the Jazz. Utah Jazz shooting guard Donovan Mitchell followed up his great performance from game 1 by scoring 30 points in this game, helped his team win and tie the series at 1-1. In game 3, now, remember I told y'all, going 7 games, or after the way these last 2 games is going, I was like, okay, games 2 and game 3, maybe it won't be going 7. That's because the Jazz just completely beat the shit out of the Denver Nuggets. The game's over by halftime. See, in game 3, it wasn't even close. I turned this game off, actually. I turned this game off by halftime and watched the Hulk movie. The old Hulk movie was on, I think it was on Star's Edge. I just turned that on. I was like, bro, I don't even want to watch this game. The Utah Jazz took a 2-1 series lead after destroying the Denver Nuggets 124-87. Game 4 is today at 9 p.m. Very late, but whatever. Whatever. Oh, it's not very late. I'm sounding like I'm an old head. Game 4 today is at 9 p.m. The Jazz, the last 2 games, dominated the Nuggets, so we will see if the Nuggets can respond. Again, I still have this series going to 7, but I can see when people's like, maybe it will end in 5. Maybe it will end in 6. Because the way the Mavericks, still stuck on the Mavericks. The way the Jazz have been playing these last 2 games versus how the Nuggets have been playing, it's like, okay, maybe the Jazz is ready to just get the series over with. And the very last one, you guys, very last one in the Western Conference. First round so far. Number 4 seed Houston Rockets versus number 5 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. Houston is up 2-1 in this series. Coming into this series, I had as far as my series prediction, I had the Houston Rockets beating the Oklahoma City Thunder 4-1. If anything, I kind of thought maybe go 6 games if Russell Westbrook, who's the star point guard for and the second option behind the James Harden, who was the first option, the shooting guard, star shooting guard, or on Houston. I actually had this series going 5, but I was like, okay, the reports that Russell Westbrook is not going to play was a very key piece to this Houston Rockets team. I was like, okay, maybe it can go 6 if Russell Westbrook does not play at all in the first round. But after game 1, I was like, maybe they don't need Westbrook right now. Houston Rockets point, like I said, Russell Westbrook may actually be able to chill. I thought he was going to be able to chill and not, worry about coming back this series. That's because in game 1, the Rockets blew out the Thunder 123-108. The Rockets controlled this game from beginning to end. James Harden scored 37 points and made 6 3-pointers. I believe that Eric Gordon, their shooting guard Eric Gordon, who, on and off the court with injuries at times during his career, he came out like a bat out of hell. He just started driving and kicking. Oklahoma City Thunder really didn't get none from Chris Paul, their star point guard and their good backcourt. I believe Danilo Gallinari, their small forward for Oklahoma City Thunder, balled out. He had 29 points. But overall, it was all Houston. I was like, okay, it's 1-0 again. It's just one game. So I was like, you know what? We'll see what happened in game 2. Well, game 2, it was very short, just like the writing I put for it. Houston took a 2-0 series lead after beating the Thunder 111-98. Didn't I just tell you about the damn 111? I'm not BSing, bro. It was like 4 or 5 times, like 111. I keep thinking maybe I wrote that by accident. But no, it's 111. The bench for the Rockets showed up big time in the second half. There was a time in the second half, I believe in the fourth quarter, it was tied 80-80. It was tied 80-80, and actually James Harden went to the bench. And again, Russell Westbrook's not playing, so that's 2 of their star players, key pieces on the team that's not in the game, right? And their bench. So it's 80-80, and this is going up against Oklahoma City Thunder's their starting lineup. It was 80-80. So out of nowhere, you look up. I was looking down for 2 seconds, typing on my phone, writing my script for what's going on. And next I looked up, it was 93-80. It was a 13-0 run by Houston to go up 93-80, and that was completely the game. Harden came back in, drilled a 3 to put the dagger in the Thunder, and I was like, okay, so again, maybe Westbrook does not need to come back, and it's 2-0 Houston. Game 3 was different, though. Game 3 was Saturday, which was yesterday. Oklahoma City Thunder finally got a win in overtime, 119-107. Daniel House, who is the shooting guard, I believe he's the backup shooting guard or point guard, shooting guard or small forward for the Houston Rockets. He actually had a chance to give the Rockets the win before the end of the game in the fourth quarter. It was like 8 seconds. It was like 4 seconds left. And it was 104-104. And he just had to make the second free throw to basically give him the win, 105-104. He missed it. And then when he missed the free throw, Chris Paul for the Thunder missed the layup. And here we have overtime. And at that time, James Harden had 5 fouls. In NBA rules, if you have 6 fouls, you're automatically out the game. That's it. He had 5 fouls going to overtime and got a very quick foul in the start of overtime to basically get himself. He was out the game, and Houston really had no one that could really set up shots for them and everybody. James Harden's that important. And I believe the Thunder went on like a 10-0 run or whatever to start the game. Start overtime, and won 119-107 to make the series 2-1. OKC's point guard Chris Paul was great, making clutch bucket after clutch bucket, can help his team win. And again, like I said, that put them in the series 2-1. I still believe at this point this is Houston Rockets series to lose. Again, they need 2 more wins to Oklahoma City needing 3. And again, I think the way that went, you might see Russell Westbrook come back in Game 4. Because again, I really think the thought process among Houston Rockets fans, my thought process is just NBA fan in general watching the games. I'm thinking to myself that they did not really need Westbrook to come back at all for Game 4 if they would have won yesterday. It's clear at times Houston has this thing where they go on droughts when they're not making shots, but their defense is there, but they're not making enough shots, and especially for a team like them in Houston that likes to shoot threes constantly. Majority of their offense is shooting threes. So if guys are not making shots, it really becomes like a stale offense to see. With Russell Westbrook, you get more of an extra energy bunny in there who's literally willing to drive the ball down the court and get in the grit, in the paint, in the grit of the defense that they're going up against, and that opens up a lot of jump shots for the Houston Rockets team. So I don't know if they bring Russell Westbrook back. I'm thinking if I was them, I would. Because, you just want to get this series over and done with. You want to take a chance of Russell being out. I'm stumbling here. If he's not cleared, of course, you got to keep him out. You're not just going to force him to play if he's hurt. But if he is cleared to play full basketball activity, I would take that chance and just say, yo, look, we need you to get here, bro. We need to help finish this series off. 2 more wins, and by next week, Houston should be moving on to the second round. So that was it, you guys, for the NBA kind of news portion of the week as far as NBA playoffs is concerned. I'm about to jump right here into the NHL playoffs, and like I said, this is going to be very quick because at the end of the day, I think all their series is over. I don't have to really this game's still going on. No. So yeah, that's the NBA playoffs. So at this point, I feel like you can probably pencil in some teams already. Like I said, from the Eastern Conference, you can pencil in basically every team that's winning their series. You're going to pencil in by next week. They should be in the second round. As for the Western Conference, there may be maybe 1 or 2 series where you could possibly see some games going to 6 and some games being over by the end of the week. So we will see. Heading straight to NHL news of the week, the playoff edition here on Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun. The first round NHL playoffs officially started this week, and here are the results of the series. So, well, it started last week, but actually didn't copy and paste it by accident. So it continued this week, and again, they basically ended this week. So we'll go over the results right now. In the Eastern Conference of the first round, number 1 seed Philadelphia Flyers and number 8 seed Montreal Canadiens. This series went to 6 games where the Philadelphia Flyers won 4-2, and they're moving on to the next round. I believe this was the very first time that the Flyers moved on to the Eastern Conference second round since 2013, 2017. It was one of those things. But yeah, the series was tied at 1-1. Like I said, going out to you guys last Sunday when I was doing the report. Game 3 was this past Sunday with the Philadelphia Flyers beating the Canadiens 1-0 to take a 2-1 series lead. On Tuesday, Game 4 went to the Flyers 2-0, and that put them up 3-1. So Philadelphia Flyers needed just 1 more win to advance the second round of the NHL playoffs, but the Montreal Canadiens had other plans. On Wednesday, the Canadiens won Game 5 to make it 3-2 series after beating the Flyers 5-3 to push the series to a Game 6. And like I said, the Game 6 went to the Philadelphia Flyers, and they advanced to the second round after beating and eliminating the Montreal Canadiens. I promise you I'll talk better than this. Still in the Eastern Conference, number 2 seed Tampa Bay Lightning versus the number 7 seed Columbus Blue Jackets. The Lightning was up 2-1 in this series, going on from last week, continuing on to this week. This week up to this Sunday. The next game between these two teams on Monday, where the Tampa Bay Lightning won 2-1 to take a 3-1 series lead over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Game 5 was on Wednesday, August 19th, and the Tampa Bay Lightning moved on to the next round by beating the Blue Jackets 5-4 in overtime. So it's not like the Blue Jackets just laid down and died. In the end, Tampa Bay Lightning just edged it out and did what they're, edged it out in the end. And like I said, they won the game in overtime 5-4, and that was all Lightning. It was the series base was all Lightning on the way. It was 2-1 last week, then 2 straight wins by the Lightning on Wednesday and whatever the day it was I said. And they won the series 4-1, so the Lightning moved on to second round. So again, that's the Flyers and the Lightning out of the Eastern Conference, 1 and 2 seed moving on to the next round. Number 3 seed Washington Capitals versus number 6 seed New York Islanders. So remember I told y'all last week for this series, I said that the higher seed, the number 3 seed Washington Capitals, was in trouble at this point. They were down 2-0 going to their Game 3 matchup on Sunday, August 16th. Well, it didn't get any better. New York Islanders beat the Capitals 2-1 to take a 3-0 series lead. It was all New York at this point. It's like one of the good things going on in New York right now. All the New York Islanders needed was 1 more win to sweep the Capitals and advance to the second round. Washington Capitals did not give up yet. On Tuesday, August 18th, Capitals won 3-2 to avoid the sweep and make the series 3-1. This was not no LeBron James Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors 3-1 comeback. On Tuesday, August 20th, New York Islanders finished all the Capitals 4-0. They beat them really good, handily, convincingly, 4-0. To finish the Capitals off to win the series and move on to the next round. Islanders won that series. Number 6 seed Islanders won that series 4-1. In the final first round series in the Eastern Conference is the number 4 seed Boston Bruins versus the number 5 seed Carolina Hurricanes. The Bruins was up 2-1 on Hurricanes coming off last week. Up to this week right now on Sunday. On Monday, August 17th, the Bruins got even closer to advancing to the next round, winning Game 4, 4-3 over the Carolina Hurricanes. Then they close out the series on Wednesday, August 19th, beating the Hurricanes 2-1. Boston Bruins will advance to the second round of the playoffs. So that's it. Eastern Conference is basically done. Flyers, Lightning, Islanders, and the Bruins moved on to the next round, Eastern Conference. On to the Western Conference, kind of really the same thing. In the Western Conference first round of the NHL Playoffs, number 1 seed Vegas Golden Knights versus number 8 seed Chicago Blackhawks. So it was 1 seed Vegas Golden Knights versus the 8th seed Chicago Blackhawks. Last week, I was basically told y'all this series is over. It was not even close. It's not really worth going over. Just know in the end that the Vegas Golden Knights swept the Chicago Blackhawks, respect. They did win Game 4 to make it 3-1 to avoid the sweep, but it didn't matter. On Tuesday, August 18th, the Vegas Golden Knights eliminated the Chicago Blackhawks when they beat them 4-3 to advance to the next round. So Chicago Blackhawks out. Number 1 seed Vegas Golden Knights did what they're supposed to do, winning that series 4-1. Number 2 seed Colorado Avalanche versus number 7 seed Arizona Coyotes. The Colorado Avalanche is up 2-1 in the series coming off last week. So it was a little interesting, the 7 seed, the lower seed Arizona Coyotes getting 1 win. At least make the series interesting to make it 2-1. Make it 1-1 to Colorado won the Game 3 going on that last Saturday to make it 2-1. On Monday, August 17th, the number 2 Colorado Avalanche completely dominated the Coyotes 7-1. They scored 7 goals and took a 3-1 series lead. The one more win and the Colorado Avalanche will go to the second round. And on Wednesday, that's exactly what happened. August 19th, Game 5 looked exactly like Game 4. Game 5 looked exactly like Game 4. Colorado Avalanche dominated again and eliminated the Coyotes 7-1 again. With that win, the Avalanche won the series 4-1 and moved on to the second round. So that's both number 1 and number 2 seed in the Western Conference, just like the Eastern Conference, moving on to the next round. Number 3 seed Dallas Stars versus number 6 seed Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames, I said that right. Number 3 seed Dallas Stars versus number 6 seed Calgary Flames. This series was 2-1, with the number 6 Calgary Flames actually being up heading to their Sunday, August 16th Game 4 matchup. In Game 4 on August 16th, the series became a 2-2 series tie after number 3 seed Dallas Stars beat the Flames 5-4 in overtime. Watch the game, it was actually a really good game. But it was tied at 2 apiece, 2 apiece. The Dallas Stars kept the momentum going when they beat the Flames 2-1 in Game 5 on Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday night, August 18th, to take a 3-2 series lead. So it did come down to a Game 6. Game 6 was on Thursday, August 20th, where the Dallas Stars did finish the series, win the series 4-2, after they beat the bricks off the Flames 7-3, and like I said again, won the series 4-2. So a lot of scoring, and I'm mad because that was a game that I actually missed. Since the coronavirus going on, I've actually sat down and watched a lot more hockey, and there has been some points being put up, but 7, I never got to see 7 points being put up on a team. I'm so mad I missed that back-to-back chance between those 2 series I was talking about. But yes, number 3 seed Dallas Stars moved on to the next round. And the final Western Conference first round matchup between number 4 seed St. Louis Blues, again the number 4 seed St. Louis Blues versus number 5 seed Vancouver Canucks. Canucks was leading this series 2-0 going to their Game 3 this Sunday, and the Blues actually winning Game 3 3-2 in overtime. So it was 2-0 Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks was up 2-0. But here comes in Game 3 in overtime, winning 3-2. St. Louis Blues made the series 2-1 at that point. The Blues then completed a comeback from 2-0 and making it a 2-2 series tie when they won Game 4 on Monday, August 17th, when they won 3-1. And again, like I said, the series tied 2-2. So I was like, okay, come back 2-0. This looks good. The Vancouver Canucks took the series back in control on Wednesday, August 19th in Game 5, beating the Blues 4-3. And then, I believe on Friday, August 24th, 1st, I believe. They beat the Canucks beat the Blues again to win the series 4-2. And there you have it. Actually, no. I'm sorry. It was actually 3-3. It's actually 3-3 because I did not get to actually see what else is going on. I'll update that more when I probably do the caption on my stuff. But yeah, because I didn't complete my script on that part. Completely stupid by me. So right now we don't know. I don't know who's winning right now between the Canucks and Blues. It might win Canucks moving on to the next round. I said it was already complete. You know what? What am I talking about? Hold on. I'll do it live while I'm here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do it completely live while I'm here. Because I'm going to come back to that. I believe the second round matches is officially already set up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Dex, whoever y'all see this, do not edit that part out. I'm just me being a goof. Not paying attention at all. Yes, the second round match is already cleared. The Canucks did win the series 4-2. So the second round of the NHL Playoffs is officially set, and here are the matchups for the second round. Eastern Conference, second round goes like this. Number 1 seed, Philadelphia Flyers, will face the number 6 seed, New York Islanders. So we have the number 1 versus 6 seed. Let's see if New York can keep that up as kind of like the Cinderella in that conference right now, being the 6 seed. They're the lowest seed right now. So it's the 1 seed Flyers versus the 6 seed Islanders. Number 2 seed, Tampa Bay Rays. This isn't baseball. Tampa Bay Lightning versus the number 4 seed Boston Bruins. So that is your 2 matchups right now in the Eastern Conference second round. Whoever wins those goes on to the conference finals, and then after that, it's the Stanley Cup finals. The final champs is going to be. But yeah, Flyers and New York Islanders in one matchup, and then the second matchup is the 2 seed Tampa Bay Lightning versus the number 4 seed Boston Bruins. In the second round for the Western Conference second round matchups, number 1 seed Vegas Golden Knights versus the number 5 seed Vancouver Canucks. And the 2 seed Colorado Avalanche versus the number 3 seed Dallas Stars. Excuse me. So there's your NHL playoffs, the news of the week, you guys. That was it's interesting. Listen, I like the way, again, the NHL is just handling their business. The playoff format is working and it's great. And again, we're already in the second round, so it seemed like after 2 weeks, the first round went by kind of like pretty fast. Well, so let's hope we get some more games, possibly series is going to 6 or 7 instead of teams getting swept or losing in 5. But overall, there's y'all second round matchups. Again, if your team is still in it, congrats to you. I know a lot of Philadelphia fans are excited because the Flyers is going pretty far this year. They look pretty good all year. All right, guys. So now I'm going to do the quick sports news of the week. And after that, I will wrap things up. I literally said to myself, it's going to be a short show, but I'm looking at the timer and I'm talking. I just don't know when to stop talking. But overall, listen, y'all love me rambling. This is why y'all tune in. So there you go. I turned like 2-3 segments of topics for certain sports leagues to an hour show. So who else can do that? I'm joking. Pretty sure anybody can do that. Just keep talking like me. So here's a quick sports news of the week. NFL has a setback due to the coronavirus testing process. Saturday's daily test. Basically, NFL has like daily tests every Saturday. And they have their test, and then the results usually come out the next day on Sunday. But daily tests have came back with false positives amongst the teams in the league. False positives. That means the league will have. The league did come out, say NFL did come out and say they will have to investigate to make sure these are false positives in the league. They just want to make sure this is it. We're like, holy crap. That stuff like this happens all the time, no matter what you're testing. You can come back with a positive. Like, wait a minute. Like, this isn't looking right. Let's check it again. Let's investigate because we need to make sure that this is not hitting our players in this league that did decide to opt in and play. Excuse me. Goodness, I'm sorry. Excuse me. In addition to this report here about the false positives, Chicago Bears had 9 false positive tests, and they're going to postpone their morning practice, which was today, and resume practice tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. So, that's big news. That's decently big news. It's not huge news because, again, we don't know. They're calling it false positive, but you want to be sure. So I will take this right now. I'm not saying coronavirus is not a big deal. I will just say, though, the reason why I didn't think this was really, really big to put this as like its own NFL news portion, because, again, the NFL is reacting immediately to it. They're not saying, they're false positive. Let's just continue the process of getting teams ready for the season in September which starts on September 13th. So I like the NFL immediately jumped on this, and they're doing an investigation to make sure that there's really no cases of coronavirus going on around the league. Next news, next news is in the quick sports news of the week. NFL broadcaster removed from Fox Sports broadcast team after a homophobic slur. Made a homophobic slur during a baseball game. NFL broadcaster name was Tom. It's Thom. So I'm gonna say Dom Brenneman. Dom Brenneman was NFL broadcaster that basically got fired. He used a homophobic slur during a Major League Baseball game between the Cincinnati Reds and Kansas City Royals on Wednesday. So between the Cincinnati Reds and Kansas City Royals game, he made a homophobic slur. I will not repeat what he said because I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I didn't. It's all true as well. When I checked articles, there was really no one that would, you know what I mean? No one was really putting out what he said. Like, they really want to avoid putting that in their articles. Again, it's a very touchy thing to say. It's 2020. I think people would know better. But yes, but Fox Sports did release a statement saying, and this is their words in quote, Fox Sports is extremely disappointed with Dom's remarks during Wednesday's telecast. The language used was aberrant, unacceptable, and not representative of the values of Fox Sports. It's kind of hilarious when you hear the word Fox and values in the same sentence. But maybe the Fox Sports did. I just know Fox News is pieces of shit. Values of Fox Sports. We are moving forward with our NFL schedule, which will not include him. So that is it. End quote. He basically got fired. As an NFL fan, where my Eagles is on TV and majority of the times we're on Fox, I've seen Thom Brenneman's basically in the telecast and in the broadcasting team, and he usually does a really good job. He's not biased or anything like that. And he made a mistake, but it's crazy. And that's the way my reaction is to this. Did he deserve? I'll leave that up to y'all. Do y'all think he deserved to get fired for this? Because it's not like I didn't read anything where this is like an ongoing thing for him. But they usually say, drunk mind, sober thoughts, or, when you say it one time, this is probably what you really believe and all that other stuff. I don't know if I say he deserves to get fired, maybe suspended, but I'm not surprised. Because there's a lot of people that are upset about this, that they're saying, come on, man, this is why the world is so soft now. Society's soft and everything like that. You kind of know better. Unless you're like a comedian where you're telling jokes and in comedians, no matter if you're male or female, they're going to make gay jokes here and there. And racist jokes. You got to kind of know your audience. You got to know that if you're a broadcaster and no matter what sport you're doing, you can't say anything, anything that comes off homophobic or racist or anything. Again, it sounds crazy saying comedians get away with it because, again, comedians are telling a joke. Some people may not take it as jokes, but in the end, that's their line of feel, is to make fun of things they just like to make fun of. But broadcasters, come on, I know if I was actually, and shout out to Cinescape Media for giving me the chance to, use kind of like this as a platform for me to talk. I know if I was working with a major network somewhere, I can't come on here and say that stuff. I might get canceled too. It's just, again, I don't get I'm gonna probably look for see what the words he said. But again, networks. This is not a surprise to y'all. It's like cancel season around here. And I get some things need to be canceled, but I am not behind everything being canceled. So him losing his job over this, it's like, come on. But you cannot be surprised. Come on, the way the world is now, networks are not playing around with this, man. They're not. It could be the most controversial network like Fox, but they will not play with that. No one's gonna do that. Because all it takes is one person on Twitter to, post that he said this, and now they're in hot water with him because he did what he did. So it's crazy he got fired, but at the same time, again, it's dumb that he did it, and you shouldn't be surprised that that's where they went. In the last news, you guys, hear a quick sports news of the week. In college football, NCAA extends the fall eligibility for players that don't play this year. NCAA will be giving all fall athletes, no matter football, football, whatever sports goes on in the fall, they will be giving fall athletes an extra year of eligibility, regardless if they played this season. So remember on last episode of Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun, episode 24, I told y'all there were conferences that were canceling their football this year, and there was still an uproar going on about it. Their parents actually holding protests outside the NCAA's headquarters, demanding that they let these kids play college football. So, but I will give the NCAA this. They're doing the right thing by allowing athletes in the fall to come back next year. So they, even if they miss an entire season. So let's say you don't want to play because of coronavirus, or you can't play due to the coronavirus because your team, which is in said conference, decided to cancel their season to make sure you're safe. You can come back next year. So I believe that is dope what the NCAA is doing. I usually don't give them a lot of thumbs up on things, but that's really great that they decided to do this. And that is it, you guys. That is it for Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun, episode 25. I talked a lot after, I don't know if I said in the beginning this was going to be a short show, but whatever. Y'all put up with me this far. So, screw it. Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, I said this in the beginning, happy birthday and rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Again, we missed the Mamba, and it's sad that we have to, we have to say rest in peace, like I said before. But again, happy birthday, Kobe. And it sucks saying that. But again, like I said, happy birthday, Kobe. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining me in this Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun. Please leave in comment sections. It can be on YouTube, through Cinescape Media. Hit me up and tell me, did y'all like the way I did this format? I actually loved it. Looking at myself while doing this is definitely a little weird, but I loved it, man. I think it's better than me, because if y'all don't see me without the camera, like I usually be with the webcam, I usually be sitting here like going like this, slouched up, and be like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. Here's how I feel. But no, I try to give y'all a little emotion, some behind it. Get to see my goofy face. And me talking about this. So again, thank you for joining me. And this has been Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun, episode 25. You can follow me on Twitter at capital SSW. Everything else is lowercase Rap with Shaun. Follow my Facebook page, Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun. And of course, as always, and bless them, subscribe to Cinescape Media. I'm out, you guys. See you guys next week on Sunday Sports Wrap with Shaun, episode 26. See you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.